And while we're on the subject of divide and conquer, why don't we talk a little more about the Earthbound Marduk group, a supposed rebel group, extracted from the Serpent clan, the latter run by EA, and the home planet, same, run by King Nannar of the Ram clan, which is Enlil's clan, allegedly at war with each other. Now it's time to take a critical look at their stories and see if we can figure out what is really going on, especially now, in present time. The story goes, told by Zakaria Sitchin, Life Physics Group, and Prince Utu Shamash of Same as well in his correspondence with me, that Marduk rebelled against both his father, Ea, and the home planet. This was supposedly due to that Marduk felt he was treated unfairly by being given too little power. He was the son of Prince Ea of Orion, and his mother was Syrian. He thought he was owed a higher rank than he had, and his father was unable to help him, he felt. So, therefore he rebelled a few times, was even locked into the Great Pyramid of Giza in the Pyramid Wars, and continued rebelling once he'd escaped from there. He decided that if he's going to be treated without respect, he would increase the number of own followers and create his own rank and his own epithets. So, he began his quest to become the Lord of Earth instead of Sami. The end of the story is that Marduk was expelled from the home planet, twice. He was allowed to come for the election, where King Anu stepped down and King Nannar was elected, supposedly being a king of reformation, leading to softer politics and a more evolved worldview. This is still the image they want us to keep. They need us to think they will be our saviors in one capacity or another. And things are already starting to take form in this direction as I am writing this, so I know I am correct in what I am saying. More will be revealed in another context in a couple or so papers ahead. What I believe is not correct, however, is that Marduk got expelled from the rest of the Syrian alliance. Most of the Syrians had to attend business elsewhere, and I am not sure where they went, perhaps just back to Sirius. So they simply put Marduk in charge here on Earth with a selected skeleton crew of Syrians, Alpha Draconians, Greys, and a few other star races. This skeleton crew has ruled mankind behind the scenes more or less since the beginning of the Common Era, most of them living under the surface, something that is not foreign or uncomfortable for them at all, but most of the time being here as non-physical, interdimensional beings, ontoenergetics, manipulating world events through the power that be. This elite of human hybrids are not only easy to control due to their being of Syrian or Syrian/Pleiadian bloodlines, having had their genetics kept relatively clean and therefore easy to maneuver by Syrians in the nano world, but these bloodlines are also very much convinced that they are the true royals, and therefore have the divine right to rule. Moreover, we are told by Sitchin and the same people who endorse his work, see above, that both King Anu and Prince Enlil had visions of this divine being, sent out from Source, God, to tell them that it's time for humanity to stand on their own legs and become sovereign in body, mind, and spirit. The name of this divine being was Galzu. Both Anu and his son, Enlil, supposedly took this advice to heart once they realized that Galzu was a direct messenger from Source. Although, around the same time, the Syrians had to leave Earth, they promising to come back one day and help humanity take the first steps of their own, without having the Syrians ruling them. So, they left, only to come back now, full force, supposedly in December 2012. Let's ponder this and pretend for a moment that what Sitchin wrote in The Wars of Gods and Men is correct. Yes, that's where the above story comes from, allegedly translated by Sitchin himself from the Sumerian cuneiform. Why would the Syrians, after humbly have acknowledged that Earth belongs to the humans, nuke Sodom and Gomorrah and Sinai spaceport in 2024 BC? A great deal of radioactivity can still be measured in that area, and animals and humans who live there today are still mutating. Not only does that sound like a horrible crime where lots of humans died, but what disrespect for the planet and the living library. How can we take them seriously when they continue acting like spoiled kids who are given too much power to do whatever they want? But there is more. If they were serious and wanted to repent and help mankind taking their first baby steps on their own, why did they leave Marduk and his allied star races to rule Earth with an iron fist for more than 2,000 years? If we look back on the last 2,000 years, we see a lot of darkness, misery, slavery, wars, conflicts, genocide, and the list goes on. Is this a sign of goodwill? An attempt to prepare mankind for their liberation? Today, the Syrians defend themselves, saying that they overestimated Marduk, thinking he could do the job. Oh yes, he could certainly do the job. He's ruled with violence to an even greater degree than the rest of the Syrians put together. And I am sure that's what they really wanted him to do in the first place. And there is even more. About a year ago, Prince Utu Shamash, son of King Nannar, and grandson of Prince Enlil, contacted me because of my connection with Life Physics Group California, and because of what I wrote in my papers, Level 1, about them and the history of planet Earth in general. He apparently liked what I'd done, and chose me as his public relations person. I showed to be quite a difficult PR person, however, because I didn't agree with his message, and I told him so. I have already spoken on this earlier and don't want to repeat myself more than necessary, so to make a long story short, Utu wants humankind to start forgiving the Syrians for what they did in the past. He said that then was then and now is now, and we need to let the past be the past and unite as brothers and sisters in present time. He further said that the Syrians are our creators, which is incorrect, and ancestors, which is correct, but that we now outnumber them, being 7 billion people on the planet. His intention is to make peace with mankind so we can face a common future together. Again, it seems like the Syrians can't help but contradict themselves. Apparently, he and his people are going to come down to Earth, inevitably start the Battle of Armageddon and play out the rest of the Bible prophecies. Although I pointed all this out to him, he didn't respond. However, this old plan of theirs may have to wait on the back burner for some time, because it looks like the Syrians and their partners in crime are planning something else first, albeit it could all be connected. One thing is just a preparation for something else. More about other, more urgent plans, in the prophecy section. The reason I am bringing all this up here is to show the reader that these are the guys who are behind the divide and conquer technique so many researchers and people in general have noticed the global elite are experts in. Well, they have had good teachers.